Kevin mentioned that he has signed up for Smiley and he set up his first campaign. Congratulations. He ran a test, unfortunately, and found that his test email ended up in spam. So he has three questions. So I'm going to break it down to all three. Generally, what's the probability that this email will be marked as spam as you continue to send to your subscribers? Number two is, what can I do to improve his trustworthy, right? Basically, to improve his deliverability, right? And the third one is we're send email from Gmail to your domain will actually help. Okay, so Kevin, if you are tuning in, let's go. Let's go for the first one. All right. What's the probability of this email be marked as spam? Now, since you did your test email and ended in spam, I would say the probability is pretty high. Okay. And even though it may not end in spam, I want you to take on the kind of mindset that um, your emails would have a very high chance of ending in spam. All of you, including myself. Right now, once you take on this mindset, what it will do is this: it would force you to be more mindful of the content you create. Right? Let me make this. Wait. Move this aside. Let me make this one smaller. Okay. So you'd want to, people to send your mail to the junk folder or basically report your mail as spam. Be mindful of your content you send, right? Make sure it's useful. Even if you sell something, make sure there's value and it is basically is a right step for them to take, right? Which is basically take up your offer. Number two is to make sure that you send your emails to the right people at the right time, right? I know there's a lot of businesses out there, or sometimes even email marketers who are kind of cavalier with their email list. They'll just send to everyone, and they don't bother to segment. They don't consider the needs of the subscribers, and what they do is, because it costs you very little to send emails, right? Unless you run ads and all those things, you be very careful because it costs you money. But because of that, a lot of people just continue to blast their emails without any care for their subscribers. But when you take on the mindset that your emails would very likely end in spam, you be very careful to send to the right people, send at the right time. And when you select that, people will basically receive your email a lot more better. All right. So take on a assumption that it will end up in spam. So what can you do about it? Okay. So the next thing is, what can you do about this? So now that since you're on Smiley, all right, congratulations. And how you want to increase, so-called improve its deliverability. Now, if you go to your Smiley dashboard, you will notice that under the section called domains, let me see whether I can change the color. Under the section called domains, right? You would have to authenticate your domain, right? So what you do is, when you verify your domain, you have to key in your email address, and the email address should be your company email address and not Gmail. That's number one. All right. So once that is done, you want to do here. Once that is done, all right, let me bring this one up. Okay, so in this case, you check whether it's verified or verification has been done. So once it's done, then I want you to then go to this little link here. You see this? That this is the guide which Smiley has kindly provided, which basically show you how you should add your SPF records. Okay, so two things you want to do. You want to look at SPF, these two, right? For the basics, right? If you are more advanced, if you are more advanced, then you may want to consider adding DMARC as well, all right? But we're not going to go there today because DMARC will require a few more configuration. And let's start with these two first, right? Let's start with these two first. So in order for you to add the SPF record, okay, is basically you go to your domain. You go to your domain, and you follow the steps here where you add in your text and then you add this code here. Okay. And once this is done, then you have your SPF done. So normally once you have added it in your domain, so this is in your DNS settings. okay, where you register your domain. You have the DNS settings. You enter this one in, give it about half an hour to maybe an hour for it to propagate throughout the whole internet, and then your SPF record is done. Second thing is, then you look at your DKIM records. Now in DKIM records, similar, you follow the steps that is provided or guided by Smiley, right? Add the CNAME records for these two, okay? And this is a sample of how it's going to look like, okay? So once it's done, irrespective whether you use Google Domains or you use what you call that, what's the famous one? Um, Bluehost, or even, shit, I just forgot the name of that domain provider already. GoDaddy, yes. Similarly, you would have the spaces or so-called the entries that you can enter. So once you have done with this, then you go to this site called MX Toolbox. Wait for about an hour, all right? At most, wait for an hour, and then you key in your domain name, all right? And then you look for SPL record lookup, okay? So if the record is there, it will show basically the information would be similar to what you see here, okay? So these two, SPF and DKIM, all right, helps you with your deliverability. What it does is this: it tells your inbox providers like Gmail, Hotmail, Exchange, whatever it is, and then it allows them to actually check against your domain whether uh, whoever is sending it, right? In this case, will be Smiley, which is sending on your behalf, has all these authentication records, and it's consistent with what you have in your domain. Okay, so once this double check, this cross checking is done, and they know that it's coming from a genuine domain, then it would improve over time, obviously, your email deliverability, or in layman terms, your inboxing, the amount of emails that actually lands in the inbox, or maybe the promotion box, except the junk folder. Right. So once you do this and you consistently send email, and you send emails that people want to read, open, and click, then you will improve your inboxing, and that's how you get most of your emails in to your subscribers. All right. So this is how you can do to improve your trustworthiness. And then the last question that you have is, will changing emails. So if you are using Gmail to register, I would recommend that you go back to use cstrading.com.my to register, and um, use the company domain, right? If you're doing business, if you're doing consult work, wherever it is, you should use your company domain. Gmail is strictly for personal use. I mean, even for you as a user, if you receive an email from Gmail, and proposing some businesses opportunities and all things, you'd be very, very, isn't it? All right. So similarly, when you send emails to people, you want to make sure that it comes from your company's domain. So this one, yes, it will definitely help in terms of your emails not landing in spam. Okay, cool. If you have any other questions, you can post it on your Facebook. 5 channels. I've got my Facebook profile, Facebook page, Jason's Facebook group, LinkedIn, and also YouTube. Right. So any one of them, pick any one of them that you're comfortable with if you're watching this. And if you have questions, you just post it in the comment. I should be able to pick it up, except maybe not LinkedIn, right? Because apparently Wave.video is not ready to pick up the what you call it, pick up the comments from LinkedIn and post it here. Okay, so moving on. Here's the next questions from Kelvin. And wow, you have TidyCal. Cool, right? So when someone engaged me for a one-to-one consultation via TidyCal, they entered their email address and made a booking. Okay, so 2 questions. So all in all today, Kelvin, you've got 5 questions that I'm answering. How do I automatically add this email into Smiley for following up retargeting emails? Okay, there is a tool. So let's go through this. There's a tool which you can use, and it is called Zapier. Okay, and the domain is zapier.com. Now, what Zapier does is basically as a middleman connecting one application to another application. So basically, almost like a transportation kind of mechanism. All right. So, good thing is the good news is TidyCal and also Smiley, they are integrated, or basically the APIs, or they are integrated to Zapier. Right? So it's very easy for you to use Zapier to connect these two. All right. So the steps is very straightforward. In Zapier, you need a trigger, and then you need basically the trigger. That means something that triggers for Zapier to pick up the information, and then you need the delivery, or basically the output of the information that they want to send to. Right. So first thing first, you need to do your trigger, and because Tidycal is integrated with Zapier, you need to just search for Tidycal. You should be able to see it. So this is a screenshot from there. So you select on Tidycal, then the action, which is basically the output. And good news again, Smiley is also available as an integration item on Zapier. You select, type in Smiley, click on the smiley basically icon here, and now you have in and out. Okay, so in this case, for example, I'm using this because I'm using a similar method, but I'm using MailerLite primarily for my stuff. Although, yes, I also recommend Smiley. You should check them out. All right, smiley.com, and they've got some cool integration stuff or cool email stuff that you can use. Right. So in this case, this example is Tidycal integrated to MailerLite. Okay, so once you're in Zapier now, so the next step is, once you're in Zapier, first thing first is you need to then create the trigger, which is basically the app, and then you can select the event, all right, which is in your case, obviously, it's new booking. Okay, and obviously you then have your your email address, which is account that is tied to it, and then you move on to the next things, which is the delivery. Then you create your MailerLite, or in this case, similarly, if you use Smiley, it will be the same. Once you select Smiley, you will need your account, you will need the event, which is either to create or update subscriber. Okay, and then you select your groups, you select the emails, which is picked up from the information from Tidycal. Remember, when you do a booking in Tidycal, you submit an email. Sometimes you may ask for a phone number, and then you select the date for the appointment or schedule. Okay, so once you connect all this information into Zapier, and you basically, whenever somebody signs in for Zapier, it gets added, or basically gets picked up from Zapier, or pick it up from Tidycal, and then send it into your Smiley account. Okay, so in your case, as to adding them to newsletter, basically once you have created your Smiley automation, for example, so you have your what do you call it? You have your subscriber list, right? So from Tidycal, picks up from Zapier, will pick it up and then send it to your Smiley account. And because you already identify which audience that you want to send this to, and from here, you can then build your automation. And this one most likely will be your welcome email, for example. Okay, so the automation is triggered when somebody joins your audience, then the welcome sequence or whatever emails that you want to send, you can trigger from there. Okay, so this is how you do it. So the key thing that for you to actually make this work is to use Zapier as an integration between Tidycal and your Smiley account. Okay. Hi, and thanks for watching. If you need my help to set up your email marketing engine for your business, just click on the link here and you see a list of services that will help you grow your leads and sales, and also increase your profits through emails. I'm looking forward to working with you soon.